my background and what I was good at was tackling and being very physical, and was taught from a young age, if you went into a contact situation at 95%, you could come off injured. So everything I did in training and playing was always at 100%. But with regards to my problems and symptoms that I was recognizing, I was putting down to stress and not really trying to take too much notice of it because of the positive thinking, and most probably my own worst enemy in that respect, where it's fine. And then my wife was picking up on different things and was trying to get me to go to the doctors because there was characteristic differences in me, arguments over where we'd have a conversation about something, and then an hour later, the following day, I had no recollection whatsoever, and it wasn't me just being a man. I just can't remember anything about it. I was really struggling as well in board meetings, or if I was having a conversation with people in a coffee shop with background noise. I could, if the telly was on, so filtering out background noise and taking in the information. So during lockdown, Zoom has been brilliant because there's only one person talking at a time. And then in September 2019, I went on a bike ride from my house. I've done it 100 times, and I got lost on this bike ride, and I had a blackout moment, and cycled home the way that I had come, and told my wife Mel. And the following day, I was in the GP, and that's where the testing started, really. But when we had the diagnosis, it was, if I'm honest, a shit couple of days. But we got introduced to some amazing people and said, what is our legacy going to be? And that's when we flipped our thinking of doing everything that we can to keep me as long as possible, and all the little 1% coming together hopefully will make a big difference going forward for me. Yeah, for me, it was really obvious that I was sleeping like a bear, and was having, but my REM and deep sleep almost doubled during the first week of using it. Yeah, I just felt like I'd been at the beach, just fresh air, and just felt, going to bed, that I was looking forward to sleeping because it wasn't going to be disrupted. I was quite a fidgety sleeper before, and it's just made me have a solid night sleep. And I think everything else then off the back of having a good night's sleep is a lot easier. Definitely having that sleep, good sleep, has made a huge difference then with everything else that I'm doing in the routine that I'm in with the training. It means I can train hard, which I know again helps with my symptom with the blood flow and oxygen. I just think it's just a perfect passage. It all coming together, and I'm definitely in a much better space now.
Brain is then shifting from getting all this oxygen and getting more energy as a result of that, to start shifting on the cellular level how to regenerate and recreate some of the scaffolding of your brain and the architecture of your brain that was damaged. And that's by a couple different ways, but the first way is that we have new blood vessels that form. And that's probably the most important, is that if you can get new blood vessels to form in these areas, so like if you have two blood vessels in an area and then you have 10, you could think about if you have 10 feeding the same tissue that 2 were, you're going to have a significant more capacity. And as a result, that brain tissue is going to stay online for longer once that blood vasculature is more dense, it's more hefty, more robust in the area. And so you see this new blood vasculature getting in there. And then of course, not only just does the oxygen get there, but all the nutrients that you're eating and the fluids that you're drinking and things like that, they're all getting to the area, hydrating the area and giving the nutrients to that area. Okay. And I talk to people that have that diagnosis, your early onset dementia, all the time, right? Yeah. And I talk to people that have, I from this conversation, I found no indication of any of that, you know, and that's impressive, you know, given it sounds like you were at a pretty rough place not too long ago.
Yeah, yeah. I've got my notes by here that I didn't have to look at too much. So yeah, but all the things that I'm putting together seem to be putting me on the right path.